Darren, how are you?
I'm very well, thank you.
Now, rumour has it, you've taught young learners.
I have, yes, I have, yeah. I did about 2 years worth of teaching young learners.
Whereabouts?
In Thailand, in Bangkok.
Wow, and what age groups?
I started with primary, so I actually taught 6 to 8 year olds, and then that was for about 8 months or so. And then the rest of the time I was teaching secondary, so 13 to 18.
Okay, can we have a little chat about those 6 to 8 year olds?
Oh God, yeah.
What was that like?
Scary. In fact, my first ever class, having just completed my CELTA course, my first ever class was teaching a group of 35 6-year-olds.
Wow.
And I felt totally unprepared and totally afraid.
Oh, what happened?
It was all right. I had a Thai teacher with me, and I just did lots of running around. I think the children should have been running around. Well, maybe not, but I ended up doing lots of running around, and it made me feel better. I'm not sure whether it actually taught them much, but yeah.
So what kinds of things did you have to adapt from your sort of the things you learnt on your CELTA to teaching young learners, or what are the differences maybe?
The differences, a lot less. I would say a lot less focus on production, so a lot of it's reception, responding to things, whereas on CELTA you expect students to be ready to use language you've taught them straight away. I think with young learners you have to give them much more time to be able to assimilate the language that they're learning, but they can still respond to things, so you can give them prompts and it might be just a case of kind of choosing things and stuff like that rather than actually producing. But also something else I did do in terms of production was doing lots of songs and chants and stuff like that, which they can do and which help them. But certainly I didn't really do grammar as such. It's much more like teaching phrase book English, I think, chunks of language, lexical stuff, that type of thing. Because kids at that age, they're not going to sit there and analyse language in the way.
Yeah, well, they can't.
They
can
they?
They
can't. They don't
no.
want to, and yeah, just fall asleep. Which might be a nice settler, but
yeah. Oh, settlers.
Settlers, yeah.
What are they?
Settlers. Settlers are activities where the students are really hyper, and you need an activity to change the pace of the lesson. Maybe you need them to concentrate and to calm down, so you have activities like settlers. So bingo, for example, is a settler. Although a lot of people think instinctively, oh, that sounds like it might be a stirrer, which is the opposite of a settler. But in actual fact, it's a settler, because if either you or another student could be the caller of bingo, and what are the rest of the students doing? They just sat there listening really intently and concentrating, so it settles them down. It creates a more quiet atmosphere in the class. Stirrer is the opposite. It raises the atmosphere.
So how on earth did you manage a class of 35, did you say?
Yeah, I had them working in groups. They had the tables arranged in islands, so they were working in islands. And yeah, kind of monitoring. Like I say, I was lucky. I had a Thai teacher with me most of the time. But I think the key is having them in groups. You can, if you give them the students' responsibilities, then they respond to that. You may have somebody who's in charge on their table, and that can rotate, or you can have team competitions, and then they get to police each other and stuff. Yeah, lots of monitoring.
Yeah, I can imagine. Tiring?
Very tiring, but very rewarding as well. Very rewarding.
What did you find most rewarding about it?
Just their enthusiasm. They're really motivated, really enthusiastic, really motivated at that age, and they love their teacher. It's really nice to have that response, especially when you first started teaching, like I had at that time. It's really nice to get such positive, encouraging feedback from your students, and it's so honest as well. Obviously, that has its drawbacks as well. If they don't like doing an activity, they won't be afraid to tell you that they don't like it, and they'll be quite open and say, "This is boring, sir. This is boring."
But if they like it, you do it again and again and again.
Exactly. Yes. Exactly.
Yeah. Marvellous. Thank you very much, Darren.
That's okay.